All right, and welcome to today's Video Guys Newsday Tuesday show. We're live on Facebook, we're on Twitch, we're on some other stuff. The show will be posted in YouTube as soon as it's done. We get rid of any technical glitches or stuff like that, throw it up there. Today we have a special guest on our show, John Bauder from LaCie. John's going to tell us all about something that I think is just so cool and separates the LaCie big drives from other drives. Right here we have the big 12, that's 12 drives in a RAID. We've got the drives out of here just to show it off a little bit. As you can see, they can go back in pretty easily. They all snap in. You get the picture. And then we've got the big 6 over here. We've also got the LaCie Big Dock 2 with the docking station in it. We've got the DJI Copilot, the new rugged RAID. Anyway, one of the things that I really love about the LaCie RAID products, and no one else does in the industry, it comes with a utility that is bar none the best around. It makes it super easy to configure your RAID for PC or Mac, plus different levels of RAID configuration. It's a really great tool, and John's going to walk us through that tool a little bit later. Right, John?
Absolutely.
Cool. So what do these drives cost? Everyone asks. We got the big 6 Thunderbolt 3 starting at $18.99. We've got the big 12 Thunderbolt 3 starting at $39.99. One of the things that separates the LaCie drives from other drives is the LaCie Thunderbolt drives also include USB-C, and I think that's critical because not every machine has Thunderbolt 3. And when you have a drive that's only Thunderbolt 3 or only Thunderbolt 2, you can only hook it up to devices with that connectivity. Everyone's got USB-C or USB 3 with an adapter, so I really love the fact that you guys add that to all your units. That's a great move. All right, before we get into the details of the show with John, I want to go into what are the different RAID configurations. We've got a whole video storage FAQ on our website to talk to you about it, but it's real important to go over. These are the 3 RAID settings that our customers use the most for video editing and content production. RAID 0 is 2 or more drives striped together for speed. You get one big volume. So if you have 2 4-terabyte drives, you get 8 terabytes of storage. RAID 1 is mirroring. That's when you're paranoid, when you have to have everything backed up. And in a mirror, you'd have 2 4-terabyte drives, and they would give you 4 terabytes of storage. What I like and we recommend best for our customers when you have 4 or more disks in your drive is RAID 5. RAID 5 is when you use one of the disks as a parity bit drive. So it spreads the data all over the drives, which means if any one drive should fail on your machine, you can come back, take that drive out, rebuild your RAID, keep editing, and then when you put the drive back in, you can rebuild the RAID. Now, if we could bring John in a little bit, I want to talk to John about something, and that is I know your configuration tool offers RAID 6, as do a lot of other people's go with RAID 6. I find for the customers who are Videoguys type customers, I'm going to call RAID 6 massive overkill.
RAID 6, so it gives you 2 drive redundancy, so dual drive redundancy. And there's some people whose workflows are a little more critical. They want a little more redundancy as well as a backup. One thing that I always recommend to people, even with redundant RAIDs, this is not a substitute for a backup. There's lots of ways you can lose your data, so you need to have a backup no matter which RAID you choose. But RAID 6 with dual drive redundancy is not as popular as RAID 5, but we do have it available for those people who are looking for just that little bit of extra redundancy in their daily workflow.
Yeah, now with RAID, you mentioned backup, and that's real important. You know, your backup doesn't have to be a RAID stack. It's just got to be a big enough amount of drives to back up whatever you're backing up from your storage, whatever you feel is critical. And I know one of the things we go into the RAID Manager is that you could set up like this puppy to be multiple RAID volumes, so you could actually have one within here for backup, while another one is for your active production. So before we go any further, John, pre-sales and training and support over at LaCie. Tell us a little bit about yourself before you go into the Dog and Pony Show on the RAID Manager utility.
Sure, I'm a pre-sales engineer embedded with the sales team at LaCie and Seagate. I support all the LaCie complex products and Seagate complex products. My background, I started with LaCie about 10 years ago in tech support, and I've since progressed into the sales side and supporting resellers and customers more on the front end than on the back end now.
Cool. And now we're going to do a new thing with our technology. Guys, not only we have John coming in from Skype, but he's going to take over the big viewer screen right now, and he's going to walk us through live what he's got going. So this is your computer that's basically on a WebEx here for people to see. So if we could focus in on the two of them, and I'll just step back and I'll give you some comments and some questions while we go. But let's let you explain how this utility, once again, PC or Mac, super easy to use, gives you great functionality, and really allows you to maximize what you get out of your big RAID, your big disk. So John, take it away.
All right, so I'm going to walk through some of the best features of our RAID Manager. So these are hardware RAIDs, not software RAIDs. So it's actual RAID controller in the unit itself, but we have a really nice, clean software to help manage, make it really, really simple. A lot of people talk about making things user-friendly. We actually really put our money where our mouth is with this, and we've made the RAID Manager really clean and simple. So in the main screen here, you can easily see what's going on with your device. It's color-coded. If there was a problem, you would have a yellow or red warning right on the front splash screen here, let you know that there was some sort of problem with the unit. You can also switch between units. This one screen can manage all of your LaCie RAIDs. So the 2 big dock, the 5 big, the 8 big, the 6 big, the 12 big, the new Rugged RAID Pro, they're all available to be managed right here from this screen. So I'm going to start going through the features on our LaCie 12 big. So I'm doing this on a 72 terabyte 12 big that's sitting right next to me here. And first I'm going to click in. We have one RAID 5 built. And if you go into the RAID 5 screen, oh, did we lose? Looks like we lost the screen. Up, there we go. All right. So once you go into the RAID 5 screen here, you can see all the disks. And another great feature we have is when you highlight the disk, you can actually see which drive it is in the unit. You don't have to guess which drive it is in the unit. So you can go through, if there were a problem or if a disk was starting to have warning messages, you could just highlight over and tell you which disk it is in the array. Very simple. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete this array and just show you how really simple it is to go ahead and create an array. And so once you have your screen here, create array, we're going to do custom. If you do quick create, if you've got 2 disks in your unit, it will automatically build, or with 2 more clicks, you just built a RAID 1. If you've got 3 or more disks, 2 more clicks, you build a RAID 5. You don't even have to know what RAID means. You've got a redundant array built really quickly and easily. So I'm going to go in custom and show you kind of the cool features we built in to make it even easier.
Cool. I just want to remind you, when you're turning away from your mic, we're losing you a little bit, so try to talk at your mic.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
All right, so now that we have, we see all of our disks here, when you start selecting your disk, and because I'm going to build 2 arrays on the same unit, I'm going to use odd and even. Gives you a little better performance because there's 2 panels of SATA controllers inside the unit. So I'm going to choose odd number disks here for the first array, and then I'm going to choose a RAID 5. So I've got my odd number disks chosen. It tells me in RAID 5 I'm going to have 30 terabytes of usable storage and 6 terabytes for the redundancy. I go ahead and click next. Now here gives you a chance to do a little settings. I'm going to call this RAID 5 just so I know what it is later. And auto format's on. I'm not going to do spare drive, disk cache, stripe size. I'm going to choose fast initialization for this because this is just a demo. And click next. It just it's going to tell us what we're doing here, give us an overview of our settings, and finish. So now it's formatting the drive. I just created a RAID 5 in less than 2 minutes on the unit, and it's going to be formatted here, and there it's ready to go. You can start putting data on this with a fully redundant array.
That's cool.
It was really simple, really easy, really clean. And so now it gets even better. I have more drives left over, so I can do more RAID. And so I'm going in. And this is actually one of my favorite features. When you go in to build another array, your first array is grayed out. You can't actually mess with your current array. So if you've got drives in the unit already and you've got data on it already, before you come and build a RAID, it prevents you from doing anything accidentally to delete your data.
So they're protected.
They're protected. And so I'm going to go here and choose 5 more of the drives. And you can see my RAID options. I can do RAID 0, RAID 5, RAID 6. I can do RAID 0 for speed on this one. And I'll title it again, just keep my organization here, and fast initialization next. We got our little overview screen and finish. So there, now I've created 2 separate arrays on this 12 big, and both of them will mount through just one cable, and they both have their individual RAID profiles. If the RAID 0 were one drive to fail out of that one, because it's a RAID 0, there'd be no redundancy. However, if it was a redundant array, either drive could fail, and either a RAID could have one drive fail, and you would still have them mounted to the computer with just one cable.
That's great.
Now, I've left, I don't know if you noticed, but I left the drive number 12 open. And so another thing that we can do through the RAID Manager that's really easy is add a spare. And so I'm going to go to available disk. We have disk ready to go, disk 12. And I'm going to add it as a spare. And I'm going to choose the RAID 5 array. Since RAID 0 has no redundancy, I'm not going to add it to the RAID 0. You can also do global spares. If you've got multiple redundant arrays, you can do a global spare. And so that hot spare just sit there and wait for you to go ahead and have a drive fill, and then it pops in and it'll automatically start rebuilding before you even get in and have a chance to manage the device. It'll be rebuilding already. This is the beauty of having a hot spare in a RAID system. Now
That's
I'm going to go back. Yeah. So before we go on, I'm going to go back here, and you can see I've got the array here, and it shows the drives, and they're odd drives since I optimized this for speed. And then disk 12 is showing as the spare for this array, all ready to go. So that's just, at a base level, creating the RAIDs, this is really simple, really straightforward, gives you great tools to use, but it still gets better. So I'm going to show you some other features we have here that are really nice. Device settings. So this is for the 6 big and 12 big only, and nobody else in the industry does this at a consumer level. You'll find this in some enterprise products, but below enterprise, nobody else has control over the CPU in the RAID units. So this is actual sliders that will control how hard and which processes the CPU is working on inside these units for the RAID controller. Now, it seems like potentially overkill for a lot of people, but what this can actually do is, if you're, say, setting up a unit for the very first time, and you're building a RAID or multiple RAIDs, and they're initializing, and they're doing the full background initialization, you can turn these like I just did, so that initialization is on high, all the other processes are down to low, and you can rebuild that. You can build that initial array up to twice as fast as normal by putting all the processing power of that CPU into the initialization of the array.
And then even more important to me is if you have to rebuild the array because something happened, that's where you want to, I would assume, take everything else down, put rebuild all the way up, and now have that rebuild as fast as possible because we want to get back to work.
Exactly. If you want to go a step further, customers have actually had used this in real-world workflow conditions. They had a drive fail. It's rebuilding. Anybody who's had a RAID that has a rebuild, the drive rebuilding has experienced this. Most RAID controllers use almost all of their CPU power to rebuild the array. So once that rebuild starts, if you've got a deadline and you're working on a project that you got to get out on a deadline, it's going to be frustrating because your performance is going to be terrible. It's not going to respond very well because it's spending all of its energy, rebuilding that array. So in ours, you could go in and you could turn everything to low, work on it, it's do what I call trickle rebuild in the background. It's still going to affect the performance some, but not as much as normal.
Gotcha.
And then once you're done with that that deadline, you get that project out, get it delivered, then you can come back in here, turn rebuild up to high, everything else to low, and that will allow you to take advantage of controlling that processor to make just make your workflow so much easier.
Very cool.
And this is real time. You can see there's a slight lag when I change a setting so that it syncs with the CPU and the device. But this allows you to have granular control over that CPU in the unit. Very handy setting. Next, I'm going to show notifications. So we've got a very thorough log. It'll tell you, and it's color coded. The blues are just informational messages. If you've got yellow or red, then you've got a warning or an error. It color codes it, and then you can see robustly everything you've done to the unit over the past however long you've had it on, and you can go back in time. Another great thing for this is email. If you've got your unit set up so it's not on the desk in front of you, you can't see the lights or hear the beeper. If the alarm goes off, you can actually set up email alerts, and so you can be notified via email as long as it's connected to a computer that's connected to the internet.
Very cool.
For informational warnings or errors, and however you want those to come into your box, you can check them to customize which level of warnings or an information you want. Typically, I recommend not to check the informational box by default, just because it's going to give you a lot of information in your inbox, and most people don't really want that many emails.
Yep. That's cool. What other features do we have in here that we can show our guests?
Another feature is updates, and so from time to time, devices need firmware updates. You need to update them or the software, and you can go here and really easily look for update for not only the software but also the device itself.
Cool.
And then you can apply them through here, and it makes it very easy and simple to keep your device up to the latest firmware so that it runs smooth and expected at every level.
That's great.
All right. And then the only other thing I want to call out, if you were to have, say, a drive fail, we have an audible alarm. Blue light on the front of the unit would turn red. A corresponding light on the side would turn red as well, so you can see very visually and hear that something's going on. But say you want to cancel that alarm. You got a drive fail, but you need to cancel the alarm. One way, if you're close to it, you can reach forward and just press really quickly that blue light on the front. That'll turn off the alarm. But also you can go into the RAID management software, and if you highlight the device, you can actually either turn it off or mute the alarm. So you can silence it from the RAID management software as well.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool.
All right, so that's really the big overview of all the features and things you can do with this software. It just makes it really easy to go ahead and manage all of your RAIDs in one place in a really quick, nice, clean environment.
Yeah, and RAID storage and understanding RAIDs is a real important thing. We gave you a little overview on it before when we started, but the key is you want to maximize the value of your investment. That's why we like RAID 5 so much, because RAID 5 is just going to tie up one drive. So if you have a 6-drive unit like this one, just one of the drives is going to be used for RAID. So as an example, if it's 6 times 6, 36 terabytes, you have 30 terabytes of usable storage. That's incredibly efficient. It's super fast. It's Thunderbolt 3. These drives are great. In fact, let's get into the pricing of these LaCie Thunderbolt 3 RAIDs so we can let everyone know how affordable they are. The 12 terabyte 6 times 6 terabyte 30 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 terabyte Big 6 is going to start at $18.99, going up to 60 terabytes at $39.99. I think the 36 terabyte at $29.99 is kind of the sweet spot for this. It's a lot of storage, $3,000, 36 terabytes, 30 terabytes usable space. I love that. Now let's go over to the Big 12, the Big Kahuna. You know, this is for the big shop, for the guy who's really got massive amounts of stuff. I've got some customers who will set up 2 drives as a RAID 1 mirror for their photo stuff, and they'll RAID 5 the rest. Is an example of how guys use the RAID Manager of some of our customers with the 12 ways. But you've got the 48 terabyte, which is really a sweet spot at $39.99, and then the 96 terabytes, almost 100 terabytes for $64.99. This is real affordable RAID storage, PC or Mac. You saw how easy the utilities are to use, and they really add to the value of your investment. So kudos on that. The other product I want to talk about, we've done a number of shows on it, but I just love this thing, so let's bring it up on camera. The Big Dock. The Big Dock 2 basically is a 2-drive RAID that also includes a built-in card reader. I think that is so clever, so great. It's something I've wished I've had for years. It's great for you if you're doing photo, if you're doing video. You can do it as a RAID 0 or a RAID 1. It's got the card reader. It's even got a USB port so you could trickle charge your phone if you needed to in a pinch. Just a great product, the Big Docks. We've got those starting 8 terabytes for $5.99, all the way up to the 20 terabyte for $1,099. So the Big Dock, the 2 Big Docks, Thunderbolt 3, great products. Love them, love them, love them. Brand new, the Rugged 4 terabyte RAIDs. These are rugged RAIDs that'll give you the regular RAID is Thunderbolt and USB 3. The Rugged RAID Pro adds a card reader, which is super cool, and we like that a lot too. So they're starting at $329.99, your choice. Both excellent products. You can have Thunderbolt and USB 3, or you can have the RAID Pro with the card reader and the flexibility of the ingest. So great products from LaCie, fantastic drives. You know those orange drives are everywhere. If you go into an Apple store and they've got to prepare your Mac, what are they pulling out to do it? One of these orange rugged drives to go to. It's the industry standard. Once again, let's go to the Y check, because I want to thank John for being in here. But Video Guys, you can call us at 800-323-2325 to discuss whatever your storage needs are. We've got experts on hand like Eddie, myself, Jim, Christine. We can tell you about what the products we have, help you find out what's the sweet point for your own price, performance, budget needs on where you go. John, anything you want to add on an overview on the show before we say goodbye to you today?
Oh, I think you did a great job of covering it. These are great products. One thing I think maybe I should just call out, all of these products come with the rescue and recovery warranty. So if you did lose your data, you would get free data recovery as part of the standard warranty directly from LaCie.
That's huge. So thank you for bringing that up. And that recovery is now on all the items we talked about on this show, right? It used to be limited, but now it's across the board, if I'm correct.
All the professional products. So
cool.
Yeah, all the ruggeds, all the D2, the 2 big, the 6 big, the 12 big, all of these products you have here are covered.
That's awesome. So not only do you get a RAID Manager software that bar none is the best in the industry right now, PC or Mac, you get free data recovery. Now, the data recovery is one time, but you know, if you have to have your data recovered one time, you really should be getting a new drive, I think, to recover from. So, while it sounds kind of, it's only limited to one time, really, you should only have to live with that horror one time in your life, let alone one time on a device, because losing everything is scary, and it does happen sometimes.
Yeah, just a little extra added value to help our customers sleep better at night.
Cool. Well, we thank you. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Now I'm going to talk about some upcoming shows that we have. But John, thanks again. Great job today. Thanks for walking us through that software, and keep up the good work over at LaCie. All right, we've got some really great shows coming up for you, and we're going to bring the schedule, and the schedule's coming up, but I'm going to jump you right ahead to September 25th. It's official. We've been telling you it was going to happen. September 25th, we're doing an NDI show with our special guest, Dr. Andrew Cross. Not only does he run New Tech, he is the mad scientist, the crazy inventor who came up with NDI and who implemented it and who's making it a revolutionary technology that's changing the industry. We're going to have him on the 25th. On the 18th, we have a special guest, John Lamman from Teradek. He's going to talk about their encoders and what's going on with them. And on the 11th, what we're going to give you is a little sneak peek of the IBC show. You know, we're an American company. We don't go over to IBC, but most of our companies whose stuff we sell are global. So the IBC show is a big show, and there is some stuff coming out. We're going to give you a sneak peek at some of the stuff we're going to look for. So we're super excited about that. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Videoguys, we're your source for LaCie drives. We've got them in stock. Give us a call, 800-323-2325. Go to our website, www.videoguys.com. And once again, we have live people here who can help you understand these products better. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to give us a call on our 800 number or get on the chat on our website. Please, if you can, share these videos, like us, do all that good social media stuff that helps us be more popular. We appreciate it. To everyone who came and watched the show, thank you very much. And for everyone else, we'll see you next Tuesday. This is Gary from Videoguys, Videoguys Newsday Tuesday. Peace.
Videoguys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.